Everyone loves to argue about generations. Boomers ruined everything. Millennials complain about everything. And Gen Z gets analyzed like a real-time social experiment. But there's one generation nobody really talks about. They're not loud. They don't explain themselves. And they definitely don't trend. Generation X. Born roughly between the mid-60s and early 80s, Gen X grew up in a world that quietly trained them to expect less and handle more. They were the latchkey kids, coming home to empty houses. No texts, no trackers, no one checking in. Just a key under the mat, a list of rules, and the understanding that you were on your own until dinner. For millions of them, childhood meant figuring things out alone. Not because anyone was cruel, but because that was normal. Both parents worked. Life was busy. You adapted. And when you adapt that early, your brain wires itself differently. Gen X learned fast that choices had immediate consequences. There wasn't a long discussion about feelings. You crossed the line, you paid the price. That kind of environment creates adults who think ahead automatically. They don't just react, they calculate. Which is why younger generations sometimes find them confusing. Gen X doesn't panic. They plan for things to go wrong because they usually did. They grew up being promised stability and watching it fall apart. Divorce rates exploded. Companies preached loyalty, then cut people loose. Authority figures said trust us, and then got exposed on the evening news. So Gen X stopped trusting promises. Not in a bitter way, but in a practical one. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst, and keep moving. That mindset explains so much about how they live today. They're not absent online because they don't get tech. They helped build the digital world. They just remember a time when privacy was protection, when mistakes didn't follow you forever. Your worst day wasn't searchable. So oversharing doesn't feel fun to them. It feels dangerous. Humor became their armor. Sarcasm, irony, laughing first so nothing can hurt too much later. They learned that from growing up with constant background anxiety, Cold War threats, nuclear drills, adults acting calm while quietly terrified. And yet, here's the paradox. Gen X works harder than almost anyone. They just don't talk about it. Their work ethic came from real responsibility at an early age. Paper routes before sunrise, retail jobs where mistakes cost real money. They watched their parents get crushed by systems they trusted, so Gen X never trusted systems. They trusted skills. They don't expect companies to save them. They expect themselves to be useful. That's why so many of them quietly build backup plans, side income, extra skills, a way out. Not because they're ambitious, but because they've learned nothing lasts. They are fiercely independent. They rarely ask for help because needing it feels like failure. Yet if you need help, they'll show up. No announcement, no credit, just action. They respect competence, not titles. They've been hit by recession after recession, so they prepare, they stay alert. They're great in a crisis, but terrible at relaxing. Generation X isn't better than anyone else. They're just shaped by a strange, in-between era, when the old world was collapsing and the new one hadn't fully formed. They're the bridge generation. And bridges don't get applause. They just hold everything together. Quietly. Reliably. Without asking to be noticed. And honestly, that might be the most Gen X thing of all. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more deep dives like this. And if you want to support the channel directly, you can become a member by hitting the join button. It truly helps more than you know.